For the last 4 months, I've been hearing nothing but great, amazing things about Marriage Story. Some people calling it the best film of the year. People saying that this is the best performance from an already phenomenal career by Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. Does this film possibly live up to that hype? Is it worth checking out? Well, we're going to talk about that and much more. Marriage Story was written and directed by Noah Baumbach and stars Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. This movie follows a married couple going through a coast-to-coast divorce. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Elliot back again with a brand new review, and today we're talking about Marriage Story, a film I was very excited for. And in this review, I'm going to let you know my thoughts of the film, give you my score at the end of this video, and overall let you know if it's something worth checking out. But before we dive into this spoiler-free review, do me a favor, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my latest Netflix reviews, TV reviews, and all the reviews that we do on this channel. And if and when you've seen Marriage Story, I want to know what you all thought of this film. Did you think that the performances were great? Did you cry? And how many times did you cry? And let me know your overall thoughts of this movie in the comments below. Let's have some fun discussions down there. So again, this is a spoiler-free review, and I am here to tell you all the hype is real. This is my first time watching a Noah Baumbach film. I've been wanting to watch one of his films for a while because I've heard he's a really great director, and that word is true. He's a phenomenal director. There's a certain rhythm, I'll call it, a certain rhythm to his script because he writes this movie that in the way he shoots it, it is just so matter of fact and it is just so organic and natural that it just blew me away. Because sometimes you're watching a movie, but this, I feel like I was just watching two actors give their all in this performance, and it was just naturally spoken. Their body language, the other characters surrounding them. I just thought it was the most natural film I've seen in a very long time, and he does such a great job presenting this film. He didn't have to have this sweeping score or take over an emotional scene and make you evoke a certain emotion towards the scene. He didn't have to have these crazy ambitious shots. It was just a film, a camera with a great director with a great script, and he gave them the tools to give us the performances that it gave us. And I'm going to talk about the performance here in a little bit, but I had to start off with Noah Baumbach. Hell of a director. Great job directing, great job writing. Hats off to you, man. You did a hell of a job there. So what did I learn from this film? So this film, number one, told me don't get married. And if I do get married, don't have kids involved. Because, man, this is a film that doesn't necessarily show you the love, how they fell in love, and how sweet it was. Like, I think of La La Land, one of my favorite films in the last 5 years, by the way. But I think of that film and how we saw the progression of those two characters and how they fell in love and what that looked like. But this film isn't that. No spoilers here. This isn't that. You know that from the trailer. We're watching this family be broken apart due to them getting a divorce. And I love how this film, even though we didn't see the love happening as far as like how they met, how they felt, how they had their kid, what was it like when the kid got involved in their life, we were told by the two characters, and it wasn't exposition. It was just, again, matter of fact. It was like, hey, Nicole, tell me a little bit about how you guys met. And this is when she meets her lawyer, and she kind of tells her story, and within that 5-7 minute scene, I know everything about these characters. And it was, number one, due to the writing and how they were able to give us that, and it didn't feel like an exposition dump, but also due to the performances. Again, I thought it was just incredible how they were able to pull that off. So getting a divorce is extremely tough. It's been crazy. I was watching this movie and thinking about all the big life events that we have. So having a kid and giving birth to a kid is very expensive. Having them go to school, very expensive. Getting a divorce, very expensive. Death, life, everything. I mean, it's just so crazy how this stuff adds up. These big moments in our life are just so expensive. And divorce in this film just made it just like, whoo. It was just incredible. So lawyers doing their job, We get some two great actors playing their lawyers in this film, and I thought everyone, the supporting cast, was phenomenal. But you're watching, Nicole's lawyer, played by Dern, who I saw recently in Little Women. Check out that review. I thought she was great in that film, and she was great in this one. And you're watching Ray playing the lawyer of Adam Driver's character, Charlie, and it's just incredible watching lawyers, how they can go from, hey, how's the kids doing, to your client is a terrible person, this, that, and the other. It was just incredible how lawyers can turn that switch on. It made things worse at times, right? It's just incredible how that happened. So things that I also watched and paid very close attention to in this film was how when you're in a relationship, and I can attest to this, and maybe you can too, it's crazy how I was able to identify. Sometimes you lose yourself in a relationship. Like, you have a certain career path and you meet this person that just makes your life so much better and you love them for it, but sometimes you forget that you have this plan, that plan to accommodate the other person's plan. So I learned that about this film, and I love how they portrayed that how people's opinions can get involved and can kind of offset what you thought of your own relationship, right? I think of the relationship between Charlie and Nicole's mom, and how the mom didn't want them to get a divorce because she had this relationship with Charlie. and the lawyer's opinion and the kid's opinion, how it was kind of swayed in a certain way. And there's one thing I will definitely applaud Noah Baumbach for doing in this movie. While I was watching this, I never felt I was rooting for a particular character. I never felt like this is a bad guy, this is a good guy. It was just, again, you're watching this unfold in front of your eyes. And yeah, there's certain things that are said by certain characters, but you knew at the end of the day there was still love there. And there's still kind of respect from these two characters that I thought was just so great and well done. I've been talking about the performances, but let's just jump right into it. Scarlett Johansson, I just saw her in Jojo Rabbit, and I thought that was the best performance of hers that I've seen in a long time. And she's a phenomenal actress, by the way. When I say for a long time, I don't mean that in an underslight. I just think she has she has a great resume, and you know, it's just, she does great things all the time. But in particularly, Jojo Rabbit was great. But this is probably my favorite performance of hers of all time. And I love Scarlett Johansson. And yes, she says some things in the last year or so that's just been kind of a head scratcher. But again, this is where you take away the art from the artist and just look at the art. She gives it 130% in this movie. There are things that she does in this film, emotionally speaking, the warmth, the hatred at times, and the development of this character from point A to point Z was just phenomenal to see. And her performance in this is definitely Oscar worthy, whether it be a nomination or ultimately a win. I thought she did a phenomenal job in this film. In her co-star, Adam Driver, their chemistry on screen, again, you never really see the love happening. You don't see them when they met. You hear the stories, but you felt that on screen. And Adam Driver delivers everything that she gives. He gives it right back to her. Adam Driver, I've been watching him since the Girls show on HBO, and watching him now become this mega superstar from the Star Wars universe and all the films he's been doing between then. He is just automatic. He knows how to dive into a character and become that character, just like his co-star Scarlett Johansson, and they just have such great chemistry. There's a moment in this movie, exactly an hour and a half into this film, that is easily one of the most satisfying, most heart-wrenching, most tense-filled scenes I've seen all year. It's you know, there's many arguments in this movie, but that's the big argument. And there's some stuff that's said, and there's some emotions that I just didn't think actors can get to. Again, you're watching these two phenomenal actors at their apex, and that scene was one of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene this year, and it was just incredible. And again, that goes to the acting, the directing, and the writing. It was just perfect scene. So throughout this film, and without giving too much away, again, you know that these characters love each other. They built this family together, and they built this life together, but you're slowly watching them slowly start to dislike each other, again, due to the lawyers, due to the fees, due to their family saying this, due to their kid doing all this stuff, and you're just watching them just slowly unwind, unpack. And again, when you see that scene that I'm referring to, all that stuff is released at that time. And that was just, again, great performances on both sides there. So, I never feel like I was rooting for anyone. That just goes to the beauty of the performances and the writing of the film. And I just thought it was just great. And it's just crazy how, again, this film, it's amazing how someone can describe you better than you can, because again, you're so engrossed in what you're doing in a relationship, you forget to pay attention to yourself. And I thought that this film did a great job of doing so. Again, Noah Baumbach was phenomenal. The performances were great from the supporting cast to the lead cast. Everyone was great in this film. If I were to criticize anything, there's a couple things I could think of. Number one, I thought the third act was a little bit off pace compared to the first two acts. I feel like it kind of drug on and didn't really necessarily warrant that 2:15 runtime. There was a particular scene towards the end I thought could have been taken out entirely, just me personally, with Adam Driver's character at a bar. But I would definitely say, even though I feel like this was a well-paced film at times, and especially that first two acts, I would have loved to have seen the distribution of how the story was told. I felt like the first act really focuses on Nicole's character, played by Scarlett Johansson, and again, she did a great job. And then the second act kind of shifted towards Adam Driver. I felt like I wish the film, speaking of divorce, I feel like I wish the film would have been like 50-50. That would have gotten both characters' journey and story simultaneously throughout the film, versus like, we're going to focus here and focus there. I wish it would have been a little bit more and tied together in a sense. So very minor criticisms there. Before I give you my final thoughts, give you my score, definitely like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments below what you thought of Merritt Story. So wrapping up, Oscar-worthy performances. Noah Baumbach is a hell of a director. Great writing, great directing, and just a phenomenal time watching this film at home. And I wish I could have started in theaters, but I didn't, unfortunately. But I'm glad I was able to see it today. I can't recommend this film enough. Netflix, for me, has been on a bit of a hot streak from last month watching Klaus, which I highly recommend you guys checking out that animated movie, especially for the Christmas time. And Irishman that I saw, was it last week? I love that film. This is another film for me, and I'm going to go ahead. At first, I'm like, I didn't like that third act as as much, but minor things, and then the way that they told the story, minor again. I'm going to give this film a perfect 5 out of 5. This is easily one of my favorite films this year, and I can't recommend it enough. I'm going to watch it again tonight with Morgan and see what she thinks about it, but for me, this kind of hit home, and I just love the performance and the direction. I highly recommend you all checking it out this weekend on Netflix, and when you do, let me know what you thought of it. So again, thank you all for watching this review. Like, share, comment below, subscribe to my channel. Answer that poll for me. Let me know what you all thought of this film. Did you like it? And are you going to recommend it to your friends and family? And if so, have them watch this review as well, and let them know to share their comments on the film with me in the comments below. So keep an eye out for some more content I have coming this weekend. Check out my reviews I did for The Mandalorian the other day, and I have more Apple TV Plus shows I'm going to be reviewing throughout the weekend. So follow us on all of our social media accounts. Thank you guys again for watching this review, and we'll see you in the next video.